The history of education goes a very long way, and we have seen huge advancements on the education system, such that we have what is known as the massive open online courses, which are in short known as MOOCs. And I believe that MOOC providers should pressure universities to offer university credit for the MOOC classes. And I'm saying this because the focus of credit will indirectly improve the MOOC's quality, and universities can always opt out of the credit. When you look at point number one, the focus of a credit and of credit improving the MOOC's quality, that may be attached to the value of the MOOC itself and the professionalism of the MOOC. When you look at the value, please be aware that I'm a student myself, and I've come to a point where I have drawn distinction between a 45-minute lecture and plus or minus 8-minute lecture on YouTube, because you find yourself in a point where you have to attend a lecture which is 45 minutes, as I've mentioned, and you get to be in a position where you fail to understand what the lecturer is trying to explain, and you go to YouTube, find an 8-minute video that explains this very same concept, and you get to understand it, grasp the information, and be able to even to share the information because you have a great understanding of that concept. And that is more valuable than a 45-minute lecture. And if you fail to understand whatever the lecturer was saying, they always say, the lecturers, they say, you can always come for a consultation if you don't understand whatever we have covered in class. And that is more time consuming compared to the 8-minute video that has just explained the very same concept, which is equivalent to 45 minutes that the lecturer failed to explain. That's more valuable. The MOOC, for me, it's very effective and reliable. When you go to internet, you always get what you want. You always get the information. As we are learning, we search for information, and the MOOC providers, they do that. And when you look at professionalism, there may be three things which are attached to professionalism. In this context, we look at the setup, and you look at the material that the MOOC is covering, and you look at the skilled personnel. A clear example of a skilled personnel for every MOOC out there, Dr. Mac McGarity. He is knowledgeable, he knows what he's talking about, he's always on point of what he's covering for that lecture. He's knowledgeable, he's never out of the topic. If he's explaining the impromptu speech, he tells you what are the things that you should note, what are the things that you should take into consideration, and that is valuable. That is what adds professionalism to the MOOC, and once we incorporate that, we add quality to the MOOC. And the material that covers, I believe that the material that is covered by the MOOC providers should always be in relation with what the universities are covering. And with calculus, I always use Khan Academy. He's very knowledgeable, he knows what he's explaining, and he works in close conjunction with the universities. He's never out of the point. Whatever he's covering in the universities, you go out there, you find the very same thing, and he explains everything clearly and more understandingly. And when you look at point number 2, universities can always opt out of credit. To my understanding, universities have a leeway in choosing whether to give credit or not. And it is very clear. It can be part of their criteria to say, we do give credit for this MOOC which is of this level, and we don't give credit for MOOC that is that level. It is as simple as that. Because there are many criteria used by different universities, it shouldn't be a pressure to them when we try to speak of offering credit to MOOCs. And point number 2, when we look at number 2, universities opting out, and another point which is attached to that, we have seen advancements. Education system has changed over time, and this is the change that we should try to incorporate with what we have in our education system. And this changes the education system, but this can be a positive change once we are able to see the good in it. So the universities should always try to incorporate the MOOCs to their systems to make a better learning for all. And of course, we cannot annihilate or discard the importance and significance of universities, but it is clear and very simple that MOOCs are effective and reliable. That's why I believe that MOOC providers should pressure universities to offer university credit for MOOC classes. Thank you.